Hey there, Nopenguin here, and with tier limits completely destroyed and Kashtira probably on the way, it really made me think. The Vsauce lore is pretty powerful, that is, as separate decks. But throughout each of these archetypes, every single one of them have cards that specifically reference Vsauce Starfrost. So I thought, instead of making a deck that focuses on the tier limits, the Kashtiras, why don't we make one that focuses on the man himself? That's right, today we are playing Vsauce, the deck. And here is the list. Yes, this is my concoction of the best Vsauce-centric deck. This is my build, and this is a mess. A powerful mess, but a mess nonetheless. For those of you who didn't realize, Vsauce Starfrost is the centerpiece of an ongoing lore series featuring archetypes you're very aware of, Kirillament and Kashtira, and each of their archetypes have cards that specifically reference him. So I wanted to use every single variant of Vsauce Starfrost in a single deck, combining all of the lore bits into one cohesive strategy, just as Konami intended. Now, the deck itself focuses mostly on synchro summoning, as Vsauce Starfrost himself is a tuner, and in terms of the engines, we are playing a sizable Kashtira and Mana Dome engine. Together, these can make some pretty powerful boards if I do say so myself. But instead of just telling you about it, let's go through the card by card so I can explain each piece, and then show you the replay. For starters, the man himself, Vsauce Starfrost, Mr. Vsauce himself. He is a level 6 Light Warrior tuner with the effect, if it's in your hand, target a monster you control with a different type and attribute than this card, destroy it and special summon this card. Because he requires a different type and attributes, unfortunately that does mean that all of the Vsauce retrains are in fact not valid targets for this. But the rest of the deck is, and the ability to just special summon this guy out is really good, especially in combination with the Mana Dome cards, which need to be destroyed to get off their effects. And the next Fest Starfrost is going to be Mana Dome Ruim Heart. This is actually our most recent Starfrost we got, and since we are using Mana Domes as a secondary engine, this card fits so well with the strategy we're working with. He is a level 4 non-tuner monster with a very similar effect to Starfrost himself. During the main phase, if it's in your hand, as a quick effect, you can target either a Mana Dome card or one of the Starfrost or Starfrost alts, destroy it, and special summon it. And then, when he's normal or special summoned, you get to add a Mana Dome card from your deck to your hand. The fact that he actually destroys the other Starfrost cards actually makes it more consistent than Vsauce Starfrost himself, but with his effect, it's very easy to be able to gain access to Vsauce Starfrost to, continue your plays. Also important to note, as Starfrost is a level 6 tuner, the rest of these are level 4 non-tuners. Any combination of these will be able to get us into a level 10 synchro, aka Barone. Then we're playing one apiece of Reinhardt, Reinhardt, and Reinhardt. Of these three, Reinhardt is by far the least important. So Tyrowins get the least amount of support in this deck, but it's still a level 4 monster, it still turns on a lot of our cards, it's still a very good piece, and I really wanted to play all of them. I did not want to cut even a single one. Reinhardt is actually really good. Our link one can link off Vsauce Starfrost to be able to add the field spell. With that field spell, we can go ahead and search out Reinhardt, and with his effect, get a free special summon. And with that special summon, it lets us get a monster reborn from the deck in the name of Scareclaw Nova. Finally, we are playing Kashtira Reinhardt. Anyone who's played Kashtira knows what he does, and we are able to use him just like you would in a Kashtira deck, just with a little bit less consistency. Finally, Veda Karantha. This, along with a few other cards, are not in the TCG as of yet, as they will be coming in future sets, but I really wanted to make this deck now, and the cards were already playable, so why not? He states, if a card is destroyed by card effect while I control Vsauce Starfrost, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then add a clear new world from your deck to your hand. And also, if another monster in our possession is destroyed by card effect, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, and if you do, it gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. This card is mostly in here just to have as much Vsauce support as possible, but going second, this is a pretty decent card to be able to extend your board and push for game. Then we have a bit of a Kashtira engine. We are playing triple Fenrir and one apiece of Unicorn, Tyrillament, and Scareclaw. Tyrillament and Scareclaw are searchable off their respective field spells, and they both act as extenders, which really helps us with our plays. Then the Mana Dioms. We have two pieces of each of the Mana Dioms, 2 Meek, 2 Fearless and 2 Triad. Basically, their effect is if they're destroyed by card effect, you get to special summon another Mana DM tuner from your deck. Meek summons a copy of itself and gives you the choice of increasing its level by 2. Fearless will let you summon a copy of itself, and also during the battle phase your synchro monsters gain attack. And Triad could actually special summon any Mana DM tuner from your deck. Also, all 3 of them have the effect that if you control Viva Starfrost or any of the Starfrost alts, you can just special summon from your hand for free, which is why even if you aren't really making the most use of these guys here, just summoning them out onto the field so you can get into your mana domes for free is very, very good. Onto the spells, we have our field spells. Triple Prime Planet Calarium, this is our Mana DM spell, and on activation you can add a Mana DM monster or Viva Starfrost, and if a face-up tuner you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those destroyed monsters and special summon it. So what you would do with this is you would have this on the field while you destroy one of your Meeks, either with Ruin Heart or Starfrost. Destroy it, the destroyed monster will special summon a copy of itself from the deck, and the field spell will grab the one that was destroyed from the graveyard. So you're able to multiply your advantage insanely easy, and this card is pretty much the best field spell we have. And we are also playing one apiece of the other planets. All of them will add their respective archetype plus Viva Starfrost, except for the Kashtira card. For whatever reason, this doesn't add Viva Starfrost, and it's the only one of them, even the newest one, to do so, which is kind of strange. But the Kashtira one, you're most likely want to grab Unicorn anyway, so it's fine. And finally, we have the newest field spell, Pristine Planets Aramitara. You can only activate it if you control Viva Starfrost, and once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle card effects, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon one of them back in defense position, have one of your tuners gain attack equal to the destroyed monster, shuffle it in the deck and draw a card, or shuffle this card into the deck and add any field spell from your graveyard into your hand. Then one terraforming to go ahead and search it out. Moving from the field spells, we have 2 of Mana DM Abscission. Target a monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, you can add either the field spell, or if you already control it, you can add a Mana DM spell trap instead. One of which is Mana Dome Imaginings. You can reveal a Mana DM or Viva Starfrost in your hand, draw 2, then place one on the bottom of your deck. One Kashtira Labirth, because this card is just absolutely busted. We talked about this before, but Scareclaw Nova is a monster reborn for your Viva Starfrost or Scareclaw monster. One copy of the Worlds as 1. You can activate one of these effects. One of them is a monster reborn for one of your Viva Starfrost alts. Or you can shuffle 5 of them into the deck to go for a Vsauce Synchro. This effect we really don't use. This is just another copy of Monster Reborn for the deck. And one Clear New World. This is the card that is searchable off of our Veda Kashrantha, and this effect states you can target a face a monster you control, destroy it, and special summon a monster from your deck in defense position with a different type and attribute whose level is lower than the monster's original level, but its effects are negated. Reinforcement of the Army searches every single one of the alts. And for traps, we have one apiece of Triff Karma. Target a Vsauce in your monster zone and affect monster your opponent controls, negate that opponent's monster, and Viva Starfrost gains the attack. Then you can banish it from the graveyard to add a spell trap that specifically mentions Viva Starfrost, which is literally every card in the deck. And finally, we are playing the Mana Dome Reframing. This is a counter trap effect that if a spell trap or a monster effect is activated while you control a synchro monster, negate the activation. And then, if you have Viva Starfrost or one of the Vsauce alts in your field or graveyard, destroy the negated card. And then you can banish it from the graveyard, target up to 3 mana DMs in your graveyard to shuffle them back into the deck. Now to the extra, we are playing Scareclaw Lightheart. You link some of this with your Viva Starfrost to go ahead and search out the Scareclaw field spell, which will then let you grab the Rykart, which will then let you grab the Nova, and then at that point you can link this off for whatever else, usually a Cross Sheep, but really importantly, if this is in the graveyard and you control Viva Starfrost, you can bring it back for free. Having an extra material to, destroy with one of your Mana Dome effects or use for link material is invaluable. And there's also one very specific use I'll get into in just a moment. Cross Sheep, because we go into fusions and gain cards from the graveyard, is good. Appaloosa is a good payoff for our link stuff. We are playing one apiece of Shangri-La and a Rise Heart. It's not often we're going to be able to get the full combo off with both of these, but when it does happen, very funny. Now we have one Muddy Mud Dragon. This is in here because level 6s are fairly decent to go into because we have both the Mana Domes and all of our level 4 warriors here to go into this. And like I mentioned before, with this card, and let's say for example a Lightheart that has come back from the graveyard, you can fusion summon into the Dark World fusion. We're playing Excel Synchro Stardust because of all the level 2 tuners in the deck, and one Vsauce Aramitara. This needs 1+ tuners plus 1 light monster. Now very importantly, this says 1 light monster, so you could use multiple tuners and no non-tuners for its synchro summon. This is only one of a couple of cards that actually have this effect, and while it's on the field, it becomes Viva Starfrost, and if it's synchro summoned, you can add a spell trap that specifically mentions Viva Starfrost, which again, is the entire deck. 1 Dragite because we have a few water monsters in the deck and I love this card, 1 Barone, 1 Changing, and 1 Mana Dome Prime Heart. Similar to Starfrost, this also can be used multiple tuners for its synchro summon, and it can attack a number of times on the battle phase up to the number of tuners used for its summon. And if it was synchro summoned using a Mana DM tuner, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. And if it leaves the field because of your opponent's card, you can go ahead and special summon Starfrost or the Starfrost ults. Finally, we are playing double Vicious Asteroid. This card is awesome. It is a fusion summon monster similar to ABC where you can just banish the materials from the graveyard, and it costs 1 Starfrost and any of the Starfrost ults. This is insanely easy to go into and kind of sneak up on your opponent, because when it's summoned, you can target another monster on the field, destroy it, and this gains attack. But that is the list. I am so happy with how this deck has come out, but let me tell you, getting replays for this was not easy, because the second I played any card that had the word Kashtira in it, my opponents would just leave. But luckily, I was able to get a replay that shows how much this deck can pop off. Now before we get into the replays, I just want to say, if you enjoy these janky, unhinged deck lists that I make, then please, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and it does a lot to my ego. But with that, let's get into that replay. Our replays up against Ultra guys, but it doesn't matter, we're just popping off. We're going to do Fenrir here, Fenrir will grab the Rise Heart, we'll go Ruim Heart to go ahead and grab a Mana DM card to special summon itself to go into Obsession. Obsession will add the field spell, and Triad will special summon a Meek from the deck. We'll activate the field spell to grab another Mana DM, and we'll use Viva Starfrost to destroy the Meek, which will special summon a copy itself from the deck, and the field spell will bring it back. The one summoned from the deck is a level 4, so we can go into Excel Synchro Dragon. We'll go ahead and bring back a level 2 to go into Barone. From here we'll go Lightheart. Lightheart will grab the field spell for Scareclaw, which will allow us to grab Reichheart. Reichheart goes ahead and grabs a Scareclaw Nova, and with this we're going to go into the Muddy Mud Dragon, bring back Viva Starfrost with the Nova. We'll use this to go into the Dark World fusion. Reichheart will bring itself back. We'll go into Cross Sheaf. We're going to crash Tira here to go ahead into our Shangri-La. Astrid to go ahead and bring back another card. Go into Appaloosa, and the Rise Heart from the hand. We'll go ahead and activate its effect so we can trigger the Shangri-La, so we can get in a Rise Heart from our deck. End the turn. The opponent concedes here, but I thank you so much for letting me pop off. Every single time I've tried to get a good replay, someone has conceded. So thank you, mysterious Altergeist player. You have my eternal gratitude. And that is the deck. Yes, like I said, there's only one replay today because this deck was insanely hard to find a replay where someone doesn't just outright quit. This is honestly my kind of deck. Just all gas, all combos, all day. But there are a few things that hurt this. For starters, this deck adds a lot. So if you get Droll and Lockbirded, you kind of have to end your turn. And because I wanted to maximize on the cool combo factor, I really didn't put any hand trap hate in the deck, which of course you can always do so by removing or adding cards as you please. I just wanted to make as pure of a Viva Starfrost deck as I can, not really worrying about how competitive it would be in a YCS setting. But who knows? Maybe with a few tweaks to the ratios, removing some cards that I maybe don't need in the deck but put because of the video, this deck might have some legs to stand on. Of course, we'll have to wait for half of them to release, but I'm happy with how it is. And who knows, maybe once these cards do release, I'll give us an updated list, one more competitively minded. But there's no point in doing that when half the cards aren't even in the game. Who knows how many of these cards are even going to survive that long. Looking at you, Fenrir. But that is the deck. Let me know in the comments if there's a deck you want me to ruin, but until then, like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more. I am Nopenguin, the one guy who likes the Vsauce lore, signing out.